Disturbing news is emerging from leading aging researchers. Women over 60 are facing an unprecedented struggle with weight gain, and it's hitting harder and faster than ever before. But here's the shocking truth: it has almost nothing to do with eating too much or moving too little. Doctors are calling it hormonal hijacking. Sounds alarming, right? Here's the simple reality: as women age, the delicate symphony of hormones changes dramatically. Estrogen declines, cortisol, the stress hormone, often rises, and insulin sensitivity decreases. Your body's fundamental operating system shifts gears. Medical experts now warn that six silent, everyday mistakes, habits many women believe are healthy or harmless, are actually pouring gasoline on this hormonal fire, crippling your metabolism and forcing your body to aggressively store fat, particularly around the belly, hips, and thighs, even on a modest diet. The most frightening part? You're likely making several of these mistakes right now, convinced you're doing the right thing. Consider this. Research highlighted by the Mayo Clinic indicates that age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia, combined with these hormonal shifts, can cause a woman over 60 to burn 300 to 500 fewer calories per day than in her younger years, just to maintain the same weight. That's a potential pound of fat gained every single week, without eating a single extra bite. In this video, we are exposing all six of these silent metabolic destroyers, counting down from number six to the number one hidden habit that doctors now believe is the single most damaging factor for senior women's weight. And mistake number four involves something millions do every single night, thinking it's good for them. You won't want to miss that one. And rest assured, every scientific claim and study mentioned is linked for you in the description below. You deserve the unvarnished facts. Quick question before we expose these traps. Where are you watching from today? And what's the single biggest frustration you've faced with your weight since turning 60? Share it below. I'll be reading and replying. Your experience could be the key for someone else. Now let's get straight into it, starting with mistake number six, a common exercise myth that's keeping senior women fat. Number six, focusing only on cardio, skipping strength. For decades, women were told the key to weight loss was cardio, cardio, cardio. Walking, jogging, aerobics classes. Burn those calories. But here's the dangerous half-truth. While cardio is vital for heart health, relying on it alone, especially after 60, is a recipe for metabolic disaster and weight gain. Here's why. The single biggest factor determining your resting metabolic rate, how many calories you burn just sitting still, is your lean muscle mass. After menopause, hormonal changes accelerate muscle loss, sarcopenia. Doing only cardio does very little to build or even maintain this precious muscle. In fact, excessive, prolonged cardio can sometimes even break down muscle tissue if not fueled properly. So, while you're burning calories during the walk, you're simultaneously lowering your body's calorie-burning furnace for the other 23 hours of the day. A crucial study published in the journal Obesity compared older adults on weight loss plans. The group that combined diet with strength training lost significantly more fat, preserved their muscle mass, and had better metabolic health markers than the group that only did aerobic exercise. Your muscle is metabolically active tissue. Fat is not. Losing muscle is like turning down your body's thermostat. You just don't burn as much fuel. Let's picture Carol, 68. She walked religiously for an hour every single morning. She ate carefully. Yet, she was steadily gaining weight, especially belly fat, and felt weaker. "I don't understand," she lamented. "I'm doing my cardio." We introduced just 2 simple strength training sessions per week, using resistance bands at home. Within 3 months, the scale started moving down, her clothes fit better, and she reported feeling noticeably stronger and more stable. She hadn't necessarily burned more calories during exercise, but she had rebuilt her metabolic engine. Cardio is crucial, but without strength training to preserve muscle, you're fighting a losing battle against age-related weight gain. Number 5, eating healthy foods too late at night. You finished dinner, cleaned up, and maybe an hour or two before bed, you feel a bit peckish. You reach for something healthy, perhaps a piece of fruit, a handful of nuts, or even that healthy cereal we just discussed. It seems innocent, right? You're avoiding junk food. But when you eat, especially certain types of food, matters immensely after 60. Here's the hormonal hijack. Your body operates on a natural circadian rhythm. Insulin sensitivity, how well your cells respond to insulin to take up sugar, is generally highest in the morning and lowest in the evening. Eating carbohydrate-rich foods, even healthy ones like fruit, late at night triggers a larger insulin response than eating the same food earlier in the day would. This late-night insulin surge strongly signals your body to store fat, particularly while you sleep, when your metabolism naturally slows down. Furthermore, eating close to bedtime can disrupt the production of crucial hormones, like growth hormone, which helps burn fat and repair tissue, and melatonin, essential for sleep quality. Poor sleep, in turn, disrupts hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin, making you hungrier and more prone to cravings the next day. Research in journals like Cell Metabolism is increasingly highlighting the importance of chrononutrition, aligning when you eat with your body's natural rhythms for metabolic health. Consider Linda, 66. She always had a bowl of healthy granola with milk right before bed, thinking it was better than cookies. She struggled with persistent belly fat and often felt groggy in the mornings. We worked on shifting her eating window earlier, aiming to finish her last meal or snack at least 2 to 3 hours before sleep. She found it difficult at first, but noticed she slept better. Over time, combined with other changes, that stubborn belly fat finally started to reduce. It wasn't just what she ate, but when. Try to give your body a clear fasting window overnight. That late-night healthy snack might be silently sabotaging your efforts. Number 4, underestimating liquid calories, coffee creamers, alcohol, sweetened teas. You might meticulously track the calories in your meals, but completely overlook the significant caloric and metabolic impact of what you drink. These liquid calories often fly under the radar, but can be a major hidden source of weight gain for senior women. Here's the insidious problem. Liquids don't trigger the same satiety signals in the brain as solid foods do. You can easily consume hundreds of calories from drinks without feeling full, leading to a significant calorie surplus over the day. Think about it. That flavored creamer in your coffee, often full of sugar and inflammatory oils. That glass of wine or sweetened iced tea in the evening. Even healthy-sounding fruit-flavored waters can pack a surprising caloric punch, mostly from sugar or alcohol, which the body processes similarly to sugar, often prioritizing its metabolism over fat burning. Studies looking at beverage consumption consistently link high intake of caloric drinks, including sugary coffees, alcohol, and sweetened teas, to increased weight gain and a higher risk of metabolic syndrome. The body simply doesn't compensate well for liquid calories by eating less solid food later. Let's picture Susan, 65. She carefully controlled her portions at meals, but enjoyed several cups of coffee throughout the day, each with a generous splash of flavored, sweetened creamer, plus a glass or two of wine most evenings. She couldn't understand why she wasn't losing weight. When we calculated the calories just from her beverages, it was adding an extra 400 to 500 calories per day. That's equivalent to an entire extra meal's worth of calories she wasn't accounting for. By switching to black coffee or using plain milk/cream and reducing her wine intake, she finally started seeing progress. Be brutally honest about everything you drink. Those seemingly small additions can add up to a major obstacle. Water, plain tea, and black coffee should be your staples. Okay, we've covered 3 major mistakes already. Are any of these resonating with you? It's often these hidden habits that hold us back the most. Now, before we get to the final 3, including the crucial one about sleep and the number 1 most damaging mistake, if you're finding this information eye-opening and valuable, please take a moment to hit that like button. It tells YouTube that other women need to see this. And make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon because you don't want to miss the solutions we're about to uncover. Number 3, tolerating poor sleep, thinking it's just part of aging. How often do you hear women over 60 say, "Oh, I just don't sleep like I used to"? It's accepted as a normal, unavoidable part of aging. That acceptance is dangerous. Poor sleep isn't just an inconvenience, it is a metabolic disaster zone, actively reprogramming your body to store fat and resist weight loss. Here's the hormonal hijack they don't explain. When you don't get enough deep restorative sleep, typically 7 to 8 hours for most, your entire hormonal system goes haywire the next day. Your levels of cortisol, the stress hormone that screams store belly fat, skyrocket. Your levels of ghrelin, the hunger hormone that makes you crave carbs and sugar, surge. And your levels of leptin, the satiety hormone that tells your brain you're full, plummet. You wake up hormonally primed to be stressed, ravenous, resistant to feeling full, and incredibly efficient at storing fat, particularly around your midsection. Furthermore, chronic poor sleep crushes your insulin sensitivity. Your cells become numb to insulin signal, meaning more sugar stays circulating in your blood, triggering even more insulin release and more fat storage. Groundbreaking research, often highlighted in sleep medicine journals, consistently links insufficient sleep, less than 6 to 7 hours, directly to increased risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome, especially in older adults whose systems are already more vulnerable. Think about Barbara, 67. She prided herself on being an early bird, often getting by on just 5 or 6 hours of restless sleep. She ate tiny portions, exercised moderately, yet she couldn't lose an ounce and felt perpetually sluggish. She blamed her slow metabolism. We focused intensely on improving her sleep hygiene, creating a dark, cool room, establishing a relaxing bedtime routine, cutting off screens an hour before bed. It wasn't overnight. But as she started consistently getting 7.5 hours of better quality sleep, something remarkable happened. Her intense sugar cravings lessened. She had more energy for her walks. And slowly, steadily, the scale started to move. She hadn't changed her diet drastically. She had fixed her hormones by fixing her sleep. Stop accepting poor sleep as normal. It is actively making and keeping you fat. Number 2, living with chronic unmanaged stress. This goes hand in hand with poor sleep, but it's a distinct metabolic destroyer. We live in a stressful world, but for many senior women juggling health concerns, family responsibilities, financial worries, or just the daily news cycle, life can feel like a constant, low-grade hum of anxiety. This isn't just in your head. It's triggering a physiological response that is devastating for your waistline. Here's the direct link to fat storage. Chronic stress means chronically elevated cortisol. Cortisol's primary job in a stress situation is to mobilize energy, sugar, for fight or flight. But when stress is constant, that mobilized sugar often doesn't get used. Insulin spikes to deal with it. And where does cortisol preferentially tell your body to store that resulting fat? Directly in the abdomen. This isn't just any fat. It's dangerous visceral fat that wraps around your organs and pumps out inflammatory chemicals, further disrupting your metabolism. High cortisol also increases appetite, specifically driving cravings for high-fat, high-sugar comfort foods, creating a vicious cycle. Studies in journals like Psychosomatic Medicine have shown a direct correlation. Women reporting higher levels of chronic stress consistently have more abdominal fat, regardless of their overall weight. Your stress is literally manufacturing belly fat. I remember a patient, Nancy, 69. A wonderful woman, but a chronic worrier. She ate like a bird, walked daily, yet carried significant weight around her middle that she couldn't lose. Her cortisol levels were consistently high. We didn't focus on her diet initially. We focused on stress management. She started a gentle yoga class, learned simple breathing exercises, and made a conscious effort to limit her exposure to stressful news. It took time, but as her stress levels came down, that stubborn belly fat finally began to recede. She hadn't slashed calories. She had calmed the hormonal storm that was forcing her body to cling to fat. Unmanaged stress is not a badge of honor. It's a metabolic poison. Finding healthy ways to cope, whether it's gentle exercise, mindfulness, social connection, or seeking professional help, is non-negotiable for weight control after 60. And the number one silent mistake, silently adding fat. Eating too many healthy inflammatory fats. This is the one that causes the most arguments. For years, you've been told to ditch butter and embrace heart-healthy vegetable oils, margarines, and spreads. You diligently cook with canola oil, snack on crackers made with soybean oil, and choose dressings swimming in sunflower oil, thinking you're doing the right thing. You are being poisoned by industrial sludge. Here's the brutal truth the vegetable oil industry spends billions to hide. These omega-6 seed oils, soybean, corn, canola, cottonseed, sunflower, safflower, are highly unstable. When heated or even just exposed to light and air, they oxidize, creating inflammatory compounds in your body. More importantly, the modern diet is drowning in these omega-6 fats while being starved of anti-inflammatory omega-3s from fish, flax, chia. This imbalance creates a raging inferno of chronic, systemic inflammation. Why is this catastrophic for senior women's weight? Inflammation directly interferes with your hormones. It disrupts insulin signaling, leading to more fat storage, messes with leptin signaling, making you feel constantly hungry, and promotes cortisol release, telling your body to store belly fat. Groundbreaking research in journals like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition links this high omega-6 to low omega-3 ratio directly to increased obesity, metabolic syndrome, and inflammatory diseases like arthritis. You're not just eating fat, you're eating inflammation fuel. Think about Janet, 70. She switched entirely to margarine for her heart, cooked everything in corn oil, and ate lots of processed snacks made with soybean oil. She couldn't understand why she felt puffy, why her joints ached constantly, and why the fat seemed to cling stubbornly to her midsection despite her healthy fat choices. We purged her kitchen of these industrial oils and replaced them with stable, healthy fats like olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, and real butter in moderation. The change wasn't just about weight, it was profound. Her joint pain eased significantly. The puffiness subsided. Her energy returned. She stopped pouring gasoline on her internal fire. Read your labels. Seed oils are hidden everywhere. They are cheap fillers that are destroying your metabolism. So, there you have it. The 6 silent metabolic destroyers that are keeping senior women fat, tired, and inflamed. Skipping strength training for cardio only. Eating healthy carbs or snacks too late at night. Ignoring hidden liquid calories. Accepting poor sleep as normal. Living with unmanaged chronic stress. Consuming excess inflammatory omega-6 seed oils. Each one seems small, maybe even harmless, But together, they create a perfect storm of hormonal hijacking that makes weight gain almost inevitable after 60, no matter how hard you try. The food industry, the diet gurus, even outdated medical advice. They've steered you wrong, focusing on simplistic calories in, calories out, while ignoring the powerful hormonal and inflammatory reality of the aging female body. But now you know better. You see the manipulation. You understand the real reasons behind the struggle. This knowledge, this is power. This is your escape route. You can fight back. You can reignite your metabolism. You can shed that stubborn fat. You can reclaim your energy and vitality. It starts by rejecting their lies and making informed choices. Choosing muscle building movement, timing your meals wisely, ditching liquid sugar and inflammatory fats, prioritizing sleep and stress management. Stop letting these silent mistakes dictate your health and your future. Start making the changes today that put you back in control. Now, I need to hear from you. Which of these 6 mistakes was the biggest eye-opener for you? Which one are you going to eliminate first? Declare your commitment in the comments below. Let's hold each other accountable. If this video exposed the truth for you, then obliterate that like button. Share this urgent message with every woman over 60 you know, and subscribe right now with the bell clicked so you don't miss the next expose. We'll be revealing the hidden dangers in common pain relievers next time. Thank you for seeking the truth. Take back your power.